Which brings us to the third component, which is to assess and document progress made in reaching the goals outlined in your wellness policy. The final rule requires a description of the plan for measuring local school wellness policy implementation. To meet this requirement, developing an action plan is encouraged. So essentially, the purpose of assessing and documenting your progress is to demonstrate that your local school wellness policy is being implemented. This is an important step in ensuring your policy is moving from paper to practice. There are multiple tools that exist to assess progress, and these will be included in the research document for you to reference. The new goal made during your triennial assessment year or any other time requires you to reflect on what you already are doing as a district and where you may want to make some improvements. So the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, TSIA, District Edition can help you do just that. It allows you to reflect on the policies that are in place and identify areas you would like to improve. The TSIA School Guide does the same thing, right? It identifies areas of strength and improvement, but it focuses more on the implementation piece. Both of these will be used for the triennial assessment in this fashion. Using the Healthier Generation dashboard allows you to track answers, goals, progress, and implementation in schools across your entire district. So under component 2, we showed you a question within the Healthier Generation dashboard. We noted that some of the answer options are subjective, which will open opportunities for discussion. And as you are going through these questions and having those discussions, we want to highlight that there's a workspace intended for adding tasks, taking notes, and assigning goals to wellness committee members. This tool allows us to turn answers into goals as well as track progress over time, right? So we will see how our efforts will move from partially or not in place or to mostly or fully in place. Those goals can then be added to the action plan, and the Action Plan Center helps prioritize and establish a goals timeline. It works as a Kanban board, meaning goals can be dragged and dropped into different columns, therefore tracking our cumulative number of goals fully met. As Kat showed you in the Action Center, the Healthier Generation dashboard does provide visuals and data that you can use for your yearly reports. We now want to discuss reporting our triennial assessment and local school wellness policy to the public. And the purpose of this step is to ensure that the school community is aware of the work that has gone into strengthening a wellness policy. It's also a great opportunity to recruit new wellness committee members. So I'd like for everyone here to take a moment to peek at this document and add in the chat an emoji on how it makes you feel. So when a document that is text heavy such as this created, the question that should come up is how likely will someone take the time to read this, right? Considering how everyone's feeling. So taking this information, breaking it down and adding graphics would be a great way to encourage parents, staff, and even students to take the time to review your local school wellness policy. Here's a great example from Rosemead School District. This infographic is posted on their school website, and it's a great way to communicate to the public about the wellness policy in itself. You can also use infographics to communicate the results of your triennial assessment, or anytime you want to share health and wellness data and narratives. This is an example of the progress made in 1 year at San Diego Unified School District. You can see that the pie chart that depicts the answers from fully in place to not in place. You can also see that a bar graph was used to show how many schools chose specific student and wellness goals and how they supported families. It is easier to digest this information when it is conveyed in this colorful and creative way. Other methods that can be considered to breaking down your wellness policy could be to identify one wellness policy goal to highlight each month or quarter. This is where we could share any research and benefits to a goal. You can also target who in your school community can assist in achieving your goals, right? We touched upon how having a diverse team is helpful. So consider having a team member that can help in strategic planning, school improvement, grade level instruction, MTSS, data, safety, and wellness. And make sure that you are having regular wellness committee meetings to review student data and collaborate to coordinate, implement, and improve policies and practices. So look at your calendars ahead of time and schedule some protected time for these discussions. Next, you can share resources to support implementation of the goal, model or showcase these activities at both school level and district level meetings. You want to make sure that you are fully equipped to reach these goals. And this is an opportunity to not only update staff, but is an opportunity to spark interest and gain feedback as well. We also want to make sure the way messages are conveyed are with excitement, right? So keep it positive. be sure to focus on the benefits and new opportunities rather than what is being restricted or taken away. So an example would be saying like, I'm so excited celebrations in the classrooms will be with an activity play block this year, rather than saying cupcakes or other treats are no longer allowed for classroom celebrations. Next, we want to highlight the ways to deliver our messages. So consider both direct and indirect messaging. Now, direct messaging may include posting on school websites, in the district newsletter, or in an email blast to staff and or parents. You can also send out parent surveys to find out what is the preferred way of receiving communications. So we see here that this question is translated as well. And this considers ensuring that our messages are accessible. And we also want to consider making sure that the communications are accessible to those who may have disabilities. Indirect messaging helps create a culture of health in all parts of your school building. Post health-related posters in the foyer, hallways, classrooms, and in the lunchroom. This can help make the healthy choice the easy choice. You can also consider staff role modeling with healthy snacks and beverages, eating school lunch, and participating in physical activity breaks. So recently, a teacher shared at a wellness committee meeting that she was eating carrots at recess. And the next day, she noticed many students were participating in the fresh fruit and vegetable program at recess, and they were so excited to share this with her in the classroom. And this is just one example of health and wellness encouragement. If this small change is eating a few carrots at recess can impact healthy eating, it can definitely impact other areas of the whole child. And other small changes can include healthy snack and activity-focused rewards and celebrations, physical activity ideas and resources, and special events such as Family Fun Night. And last but not least, deliver your message repeatedly. Remember, this is a continuous process, so be sure to reinforce and repeat positive messages about wellness goals throughout the year, tag on to national campaigns or use promotions to reinforce your messaging, quiz the school community. Include one question that can be answered by looking at the wellness policy and highlight positive examples. Let the school sites show up how well they're doing. These success stories can inspire how this work will happen. Here's a sample chart created by the California Local Wellness Policy Collaborative to help guide the communication process of disseminating this information. This clarifies what the key message is, who the target audience is, and what method of communication works best to reach this audience, as well as who is responsible for said communication and what resources can be provided to support the key message. We created this visual for you because we know this can get a little confusing, so we hope it helps you. The wellness policy requirement was established by the Child Nutrition and Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, and further strengthened by the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act of 2010. It requires each LEA participating in the National School Lunch Program and or School Breakfast Program to develop a wellness policy. The final rule expands the requirements to strengthen policies and increase transparency. The responsibility for developing, implementing, and evaluating a wellness policy is placed at the local level, so the unique needs of each school under the LEA's jurisdiction can be addressed. The specific areas noted in the bracket are the topics we just discussed, and the visuals are the resources we presented to you today. The Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, or the TSIA, will not only help you identify strengths and areas of opportunity, but they will help you to ensure that schools know that what mandates are and best practices in all areas of whole child health. Wellness leadership, who is responsible for ensuring implementation of the wellness policy, can use a TSIA to measure implementation of all district policies. The communication document includes various ways in which we can share this information and get the public involved, as is also required, and the Triennial assessment, which is the overarching assessment. We'll use the TSIA to show implementation and progress on 3-year goals. And lastly, the Triennial assessment requires comparison to a model wellness policy, which we have shared here with you today. We know this is a lot of information. We're talking about the Triennial assessment, the Thriving Schools assessment, district and school level, and we want to be sure that you understand the relationship. So we also wanted you to know that both LA County and Orange County DOEs are supporting this work using the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. We are here to provide technical assistance and access great resources available through Kaiser Permanente and Healthier Generation in order to make positive changes in all areas of whole child health, including staff well-being and family engagement.